Hello, this is Scott Carpenter. Welcome to another edition of the Sasquatch Awareness Project. Today I'm taking a midday hike, or exercise hike. Of course I got my back trail on. But down here on Tellico Lake, kind of scouting out areas that I haven't been in before. I mean, this is like a turkey deer scouting. This is an entrance to the area that I like to hunt. That I've just never walked it and used it before, and it's kind of muddy where I normally go in, so kind of decided I'd go this way and kind of scout it out. It's a section of broken fields and growed up things. Let's see, a bunch of horse riders in here. I was looking for some deer tracks or some turkey. I've already found some turkey scratching. Only problem is, opening morning and turkey hunting, I'm sure there'll be 15 trucks back there at the parking lot. But I'm in an area that I used to, not this particular area, but this area in the whole, where I used to do Sasquatch research. And about 2 years into the research, the Dogman showed up. And in part one, I kind of showed you some video and pictures and circumstances surrounding those. You know, it was all unsolicited, uninvited, unwanted. But it seems that the unintended consequences of Sasquatch research, or sometimes just the presence of the Sasquatch, are these werewolf, dogman, whatever you want to call them. A lot of people get real strict. Oh, that's a werewolf, or dogman, you shouldn't call them that, or whatever they are. Whatever they are, they're a canine. Bipedal canine that has intelligence, and from what I can tell can be extremely deadly in the right circumstances. And so I think that's why I think it's important to include it in a material that you would think only concerns the Sasquatch, because I would be remiss if I didn't let you know that, you know, along with Sasquatch, these creatures and other cryptids, but especially dogmen, seem to show up. And like I said last time, this may not be for those who've had an initial encounter or a one-time encounter, but for those people that live in rural areas that have Sasquatch on their property, or hiking, hunting, camping, a few frequent areas that have a Sasquatch clan, or have frequent Sasquatch activity. You know, you got to be aware that the dogman could accompany that activity. And now, you know, I'm of the opinion that the Sasquatch is a human hybrid. And it's a beautiful little field right there. See, I've never been down in here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, springtime in East Tennessee. So, anyway, so where was I? So yeah, you know, the Sasquatch is a human hybrid, and they can be dangerous. That's my personal opinion, because you don't know what you're dealing with. But the dog, you know, the Dogman, I've had an eyesight, you know, made eye contact sighting. And even though it scared the living daylights out of me, it did not attack me. And then I've had other, you know, back trail. You saw a couple of the back trail deals, the horse-headed one and the one that was just standing beside the trail and let me walk by and didn't, you know, didn't attack me or anything, thank God. And, but could have took me out. So, little place where that field, little John Deere harvester right there. You'll probably be plowing that under, planting something, whatever it is. It's either usually it's soybean or corn. Last year they planted soybeans, so I'm expecting corn, but I don't know. Or he may let it rest. Sometimes they do winter wheat in here. It's leased. This is a public recreation area, and they lease these fields to the farmers with the caveat that the deer get what the wildlife gets what they get. And I guess it's a win-win. But back to the subject at hand. So while the Sasquatch, I believe, can be dangerous, I've just heard more horrific stories about the Dogman. Seriously, I'm gonna have to go around it here. Go with the horses. Oh. So, and like I said, when I made eye contact with the Sasquatch, well, I believe they're Nephilim, which is they're the descendants of the Nephilim, which was a human hybrid. The fallen angels procreated, and then the Sasquatch are descendants of that blending, and still leaves them exposed to satanic and demonic forces, even controlled by it, because they don't have a human soul. So, and these Dogman creatures, even more so. There seem to be multiple variants. They range anywhere from 6 to 10, 12 foot tall. They're obviously intelligent. I know that Dr. Ketchum had a full Dogman genome. I think I provided a hair sample that ended up being Dogman from my research area, and I know that Mary Green also provided a sample that was Dogman, and from what I have been told, the DNA part of a Dogman is canine human, and a few other things mixed in. It's definitely a genetically manipulated being. And but there's also, it's kind of a dual-edged thing. You've got the Dogman through history, and you've got going back to the 16 and 1500s. You've got reports of dog-headed civilizations where the people have a dog head, and human torso, dog. It seems to be you have the human torso and arms, claws, and then dog-like legs, but an elongated foot. I mean, that is the appearance of these things. And then, so you have that, but then you have, you know, this, you know, I think that there's probably genetic manipulation going on now. It's been going on probably for about 100 years. I manually reset that. And so I think it's been going on for about 100 years, maybe longer. So not only do you have the natural, this race that may have existed for several hundred years, but you also have the more modern tinkering with the genome. So, you know, it's crazy, but that's what's going, you know, that's part of what's going on out there. And so you have these creatures out there now. The one I had a encounter with and made eye contact with was different than anything that I've ever encountered, because, you know, when you, like, I've made eye contact with the Sasquatch, and there is a soul there, there is an intelligence there, there's something behind the eyes, just like when you make eye contact with another person, or even the dog, or something like that. You can tell, you know, there's something there. And when I made eye contact with this Dogman, it was the craziest. There was nothing there. It was very scary. That's what scared me the most, was the fact that there wasn't anything there. This thing looked through me. It didn't look, you know, everybody, they looked into my soul. No, he didn't look into my soul. He looked at me, like, through me, like I didn't matter. That I was nothing to it. It wasn't, there was no, the eyes were dead. I didn't feel nothing. That's just it. I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel hatred or animosity, like he wanted to kill me. I just didn't feel nothing. And like I said, that's what scared me the most. So, climbing this little hill here. That's what, you know, I was going to do 30 minutes in, 30 minutes out, trying to get back into hiking shape. But anyway, I need to break this. Hang on. If I make the clips too long, they're huge, and it's hard to deal with when you're trying to edit and make content. So so that was what was so you know, disturbing about the whole thing, was the eyes were dead. It's like, if you've ever looked at a, you know, a mounted deer or some sort of animal mounted, you know, they have the fake eyes. That's kind of what it felt like. Of course, he was very much alive. And when I pulled my gun out and chambered around, he definitely changed his focus. I mean, you know, at first he was kind of looking in my direction. He was what I call one-eyeing, and wouldn't make direct eye contact. But when I chambered that round, and that 40, bang, you know. If anybody's got a semi-automatic pistol knows, and I let it go pretty hard. I didn't, I wasn't thinking. And when that noise, a distinct and loud noise went off, those ears pivoted. It's like a dog's ears, like when a dog's very interested in something. Those ears pivoted and that head turned, and he went from one-eyeing me to two-eyeing me, straight at me, and looked me right back in the eyes. And that's when, like I said, there was nothing. And like I said, that's what disturbed me most. And I'm gonna be honest, you know, there are, if you've kept up with it, there is, or there are, not is, there are several accounts in Land Between the Lakes where they have kind of been let off the leash and killed people, innocent people, and there's multiple stories. There's one account from two former policeman in Middle Tennessee County, Tony Merkel, in the Confessionals did the podcast with the guy. He's a very credible and a very straightforward guy, and I 100% believe him. And you know, these beings went off the rails, and it was crazy because there were Sasquatch involved in this deadly encounter. And it's, you know, it's one of those things you try to put together. A lot of people say that Sasquatch and Dogman don't like each other. Some say they work together. To be honest with you, I don't know. And, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And I haven't had enough experience with the Dogman to be able to tell you definitively. All I can tell you is that, you know, you need to, whenever you're dealing with an area where you've got a lot of Sasquatch activity, you need to have it in the back of your mind that the Dogman could be there and could show up. Now, everybody's like, well, what's your advice if you encounter a Dogman? Unless I'm attacked, I would not fire on it. That's my personal opinion. Now, that's why you should go armed, and you should go with multiple people when you go hiking. And here I am out alone. I don't know, but GPS, people know where I'm at, and I'm armed. But with that being said, just like in my encounter, the Dogman didn't come off the tree. He had jumped up on a tree and was to see me because of the foliage, but he didn't attack. And it finally dawned on me, he's not going to attack, and I was able to back out. Now, if I'd opened up on him, I don't know. Could I kill him? I think they can be killed, and I think it's a head thing. But you got to take their heads off. There's too many. I've had too many anecdotal and people, you know, shooting both the Sasquatch and the Dogman in the chest or in the torso with no effect. And so, if you had to shoot one, shoot for the head. That's just my opinion. But if I encountered one, I would take, you know, I'd get my gun out and I'd get ready for it. But I wouldn't aggressively attack it. I would just back out of the area, keep an eye on it, slowly back out, and only if it showed aggression would I then, you know, take deadly action to protect myself. That's just me personally. Because here's the problem. Just like with the Sasquatch, you're seeing the one that they want you to see. And there's probably multiple ones in the area, not just one. They don't come in singles. Sasquatch usually don't. Say 98% of the time, you know, they follow the buddy rule. And Dogmen are the same way. If there's one, there's a bunch of them. Whew. I'm almost back. This road goes into my hunting area. And almost there. Yeah, if I go up this little hill and around the corner, then I'm in a deer hunting area. So that's my advice and what I would do. Now, of course, you know, you got to size up the situation you're in if you ever encounter one, and do what you feel is necessary. Protect yourself. You know, but I think live and let live if you can. Because like I said, especially if you're alone and you start firing at one, there could be 2 or 3 more, you know, waiting to ambush you. So, you know, So if it was me, I would get my gun out, chamber around if it wasn't already chambered, and then begin to back out, keeping an eye on the one I'm seeing, with, in the back of my mind, understanding that you're probably in a situation where you got multiple ones, and they're kind of, they're in an ambush position. So you need to back out, but don't run. Ease out at first, and then briskly walk, but don't run. So the worst thing you can do is run. And that's what I would do. And you just need to be aware. Deer trail going into the field there. Been there for years. No deer tracks. We had rain the last 2 days. Horses, no deer, no other things. But yeah, there's a trail going off that way. That's a per human trail. But that's my advice, my warning. You just have to be aware. It's just like I said, everybody's like, oh, well, they're everywhere. Well, the Sasquatch, is here, and they're living in the state parks, national forests, and in the rural areas, and close to towns, inside and out. So, and the Dogman are out there too, and there's other creatures. And there's bears, and there's mountain lions, and there's wild hogs, and there's bobcats. This isn't, the world out there. It's a beautiful place, but I think we've watched too many Disney specials, and they've humanized wild animals to the point where we forget. These are wild animals, and they're mostly going on instinct. They're always going on instinct. And so you have to be prepared. And so why should you not be prepared to encounter a Sasquatch or a Dogman? Just like you're prepared. I've got pepper spray right here. Bear or wild hog or some other predator, two-legged or four-legged. And I go armed. So, you can't live in fear. You gotta go. You gotta face those fears. You gotta, I give it to God and ask the Lord to watch over me and keep me safe. And then I move on. I'm out here. This is a gorgeous day. It's about 65 degrees, clear blue skies, early March. I got birds singing. Oh, I just feel the fresh air. Different trees starting to bloom. This is what it's all about. That's what I love doing. And I'm not going to let a Sasquatch encounter or a Dogman encounter or any other issue rob me of this joy. Life's dangerous. We're not going to get out of this thing alive. But there's always acceptable risk, and that's what this whole series is about. Is to help you cope and learn about what's out there. So if you do encounter them, you'll know what they are. You'll have some measure of what to expect. And now I'm in my deer hunting area. But you'll definitely have, I'm going to go off this trail just a smidge. you'll know what to expect. So when you do encounter you'll be as prepared as you can. You know, that you fear is the killer. There's nothing wrong with being afraid, but you got to be able to control it. You got to be able to use it to help you. You know, that adrenaline and everything will help you. It'll slow things down for you. It'll help you focus if you learn how to control it and learn how to harness it in a positive way. And I'm trying to do life coach stuff here, but I'm just being honest. And that's what you need to do. Isn't this amazing? 3 weeks ago, none of this was out. And in three weeks, this is complete. Look how fast it grows. How fast everything greens up. Look at that. This was, I could see all the way through there, no problem. And now, look at it. And this is like March 5th. You can imagine what it's going to be like in a month from now. That's how fast. There to my left is got a game camera right down there. Look how fast that's growing up. Isn't that amazing? But I'm probably rambling and wondering. Do another break here. I said I'm wondering and I'm rambling, but I think you get the point about the Dogman. About what, you know, in this part 2, you know, actually having some practical things. Now, I've given you the practical on the Dogman. Let me hit you with the spiritual. It's my opinion these dogmen are satanic as well. They've got human DNA in them, and they've also got canine and other DNA. I guess I shouldn't say, because you know, Dr. Ketchum didn't give me permission to go any further than what I've found there. But anyway, sorry, just concentrating on my footwork here, not tripping, breaking my neck. All right, there we go. Here's a good tree for roosting tree. Found some turkey sign in here during deer season. Okay, so back where I was at, but big old oak tree. Yep. But yeah, on the spiritual side of this, they can, in my opinion, they can be rebuked as well, and in the name of Jesus. And I would definitely, and I've had people say, you know, when they've been harassed or attacked by these things, that they've called on the name of Jesus and they've disappeared. I know that, and this gets into the, you know, part of it, but there's been people have had dreams or even woken up in their beds and have these Dogman creatures literally standing at the base of their beds and just, you know, scaring the daylights out of them. And I've, you know, on more than one occasion I've heard people talk about when this happens, you know, they call on the name of Jesus, and as soon as they do, they're gone. And how they get inside your house and all that good stuff, well, you know, that goes to the spiritual aspect of this thing. It's never as simple as they're just some sort of something cooked up in a lab somewhere and let go. And they're just 100% physical. And there's no spiritual component. Unfortunately, there's a spiritual component to every bit of this. And if that's one of the bottom line lessons that I could impress upon you, is that there's always, when you're dealing with cryptids, Sasquatch, Dogman, and all these other things, orbs, UFOs, the whole conundrum of these things that go on that are interrelated. It's spiritual. That's my opinion, based on my observations and facts that I've observed. But it's all spiritual. It all has a spiritual component. And that's what you got to understand. And I know that's hard for some people to swallow. There goes the airplane coming in. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that my little rant and talk about the Sasquatch and about the Dogman and how they're related. That's just part 2. I think I've got a part 3 for a little bit more information. But until then, get outside, enjoy the springtime, enjoy God's creation. Be careful out there, and God bless. We'll talk to you next time.